Legends of Arceus has blessed the Generation 4 restricteds with some brand new forms, including Dialga and Palkia, and we're going to be trying out the Origin form Palkia and seeing how well it can perform. This is an Origin form Palkia team. What the Lustrous Globe does to Palkia is it transforms it into this new form while having the same effects as the Lustrous Orb, which increases the power of Palkia's water and dragon type moves. The form change slightly differs from the main form by giving it a plus 20 in its base speed, which is actually pretty nice because Palkia has a base 100 speed and now a base 120 speed is actually no slouch. While still slower than Fluttermane, Miraidon, and Chien-Pao, it's still a pretty strong speed stat. And with the power of its water and dragon type moves increased, it's not a bad option. This one running to Stellar Terra, it dishing out a huge amount of damage. Now, what this team takes advantage of is the fact that you have Dragon Cheer on the Gouging Fire. And what's nice about Dragon Cheer is it does give a +2 critical hit ratio to the ally if it is a dragon type Pokemon. So with Spatial Rend, a strong dragon type move that is exclusive to Palkia, what's nice about it is it already has a high crit ratio. So with Dragon Cheer and then Spatial Rend, you actually have a guaranteed chance to get a critical hit after a Dragon Cheer. So it can do a lot of damage, especially powered up with that Lustrous Globe. This Gouging Fire is a nice speed booster photosynthesis to activate, so it can get that Dragon Cheer off before the Palkia attacks, and can provide some great support with Flare Blitz coverage, Snarl to help out against Calyx Shadow Rider and other special attackers, and Roar to help out against Trick Room and some specifically annoying setup Pokemon. To pair up with the Palkia, you also have great partners like the Beads of Ruin Chi-Yu that allows Palkia to dish out even more heavy damage, the Choice Scarf, which is nice. And what's great about Palkia is it has the ability Telepathy, which means that it is able to ignore its allies' attacks. So you can actually go for an accurate move with Chi-Yu being that Lava Plume, have a high chance to burn, and Palkia does not take any damage, even though it wouldn't be too much because it does have a 4x resist. It's still nice to avoid taking damage there. To partner up, we also have the Focus Sash Tornaz that's able to provide speed control with the Icy Wind and Tailwind support. The Choice Band Iron Treads to help out against Miraidon. This one actually gets a speed booster with its Quark Drive. Dishes out quite a bit of heavy damage into those Miraidon teams because they really lack a lot of ground resist, so it is very strong there. And finally, this Conkeldurr set with the Iron Fist Black Belt for a strong Mach Punch priority, Low Kick for some really heavy damage, especially into the heavy restricted Pokemon, and Wide Guard support to help out against the Calyx Ice Rider. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Zacian, Chien-Pao, Rillaboom, Farigiraf, Pelipper, and Archaludon. This is kind of unique because we have a really offensive mode, the Zacian, Chien-Pao, Rillaboom, and then the rain mode with the Pelipper and the Archaludon with Farigiraf to prevent priority and most likely a Trick Room setter. So this is going to be something. Conkeldurr is not bad here. I do actually like Conkeldurr. The damage that it can go for against some of these mons is actually pretty solid, and so is unironically the Iron Treads, because Earthquake would do a lot here. I think Torn is pretty good. I think Torn is pretty solid across the board. I do like Iron Treads. The question is, I just don't really like Gouging Fire because they are definitely bringing the rain mode. I think they have to bring at least Pelipper. There's no way they don't bring Pelipper at least. I think Conkeldurr is really nice here because it's so good into their team, and I like Palkia as the last. It's going to be kind of weird because I'm not really going for Dragon Cheer strats. I think Dragon Cheer could obliterate this team. We have quite a bit of pressure that we can do because critical hits Spatial Rend, so they don't have a resist other than Zacian, but of course could be Terra Fairy on the Farigiraf, so I don't really want to risk that. Although Hydro Pump in rain would do a lot, especially if I got the crit. We're going to see though the Zacian and the Archaludon. So this is perfect for my Iron Treads lead. Like my Iron Treads is in the perfect spot. Wait, that's base form? Yeah, that's base form. I didn't even realize it wasn't the crown form this entire time. All right. I don't have to worry about the steel typing here. I would still like to go for the Tailwind. The question is, do I want to go for an Earthquake or do I want to go for an Iron Head? I think I would really just want to get an Earthquake off and fire as much damage as I possibly can. One of these is probably switching into Pelipper. It looks like it is going to be the Archaludon probably going into Pelipper, which makes sense. Yep. I don't think I mind Pelipper coming in because I just pretty sure I bring out my... Okay, they Terra too. So they Terra to get rid of the Fairy typing. Is this Grass Terra? Water Terra. All right. So not really that impactful. It will resist my Hydro Pumps, but at this point, Palkia Spatial Rend is looking really good. So we will go for the Tailwind. Earthquake will fire off a good amount. Is this Terra Blast? This could be Terra Blast. Good damage. Oh man, it is actually Terra Blast. So it is Terra Blast on the Zacian into the Iron Chest. We'll pick up the knockout, sure. I think that's all right. I'm gonna go Palkia. I mean, we are in dangerous territories because we have to play a mind game of whether they have Protect or not, because if they have Protect, they can Protect and Tailwind. But I don't really feel like Pelipper carries Tailwind. I do like the idea of going for the Bleak Wind. The question is, do I want to go for Spatial Rend and risk Tailwind? Because if they have Tailwind, it gets really awkward, but I think I'd rather risk it. Yeah, I'm just going to Bleak Wind and Spatial Rend. They did Protect, so I could have doubled up the Pelipper. If they actually have Tailwind, it depends on... Okay, so they have double Protect. That's fine. Okay. So there's only out of turn Tailwind from my side. I don't mind. All right. I wonder who they have in the back. We know they have Archaludon. We don't know what the final one is, but it's A-okay. I don't think they have a good switch to Spatial Rend. Like, everything goes down to Spatial Rend, so they probably... Like, the thing is, Protect means that they... Unless they don't have Weather Ball or Hurricane on the Pelipper, you want to assume it's, like, Wide Guard. So it has Protect. We want to assume Wide Guard because that's why you really run Pelipper in the format. I think I'm just going to Bleak Wind, and I'm going to go for Spatial Rend again into the Zacian slot. There's just no switch that they have. Yeah, so they don't have a switch. I am able to get Bleak Wind, do a nice amount of damage to Pelipper and the Zacian. And we do land a Spatial Rend, so we are able to get rid of Zacian, which is perfect. No play routes that we have to worry about with the Palkia. The worst case is Hurricane. So Zacian is eliminated. That's also the Terra. Let's find out what they are going to do with the Pelipper. Going to be the Hurricane into the Palkia. And we take it pretty well, so pretty happy about that. As we're going to see Chien-Pao. Okay, I like to see that because my Conkeldurr is looking amazing in the matchup now. I think now I just want to go for a Bleak Wind, and I'm just going to go for a Spatial Rend into the... I want to target a Chien-Pao. The Pelipper's bulky. I would like to break a Sash on Chien-Pao always, so I am going to go for Spatial Rend. They're going to go for Wide Guard, which makes sense. That means they're probably targeting the KO onto the Palkia, which is kind of fine because at this point, the Pelipper kind of has to spam Wide Guard if it doesn't want to get threatened by a knockout. Wait. I was about to say, why is the text taking so long? Spatial Rend, we do connect with the Chien-Pao. Nice. So Chien-Pao is down to Focus Sash. Okay, so we do confirm that. And we're going to see Ice Spinner. It's actually in a Torn, which is a surprising one. I'll take it being the Torn because I can see a line I go for the next turn. This Tailwind peters out, but I can just always get Tailwind up again. I guess like if it's Ice Shard on the Chien-Pao, which is the only way they stop it, sure, but I'm okay with that. I'm just going to Spatial Rend the Pelipper because I'm more fearful of the Pelipper. Because if I want to set up for Conkeldurr endgame, I think just being able to KO this Pelipper is going to be like really key. They actually protect Chien-Pao because they were thinking, oh, Tailwind Spatial Rend into the Chien-Pao. That's actually super ideal for me. Nice. Nice. As I will be able to get Spatial Rend off into the Pelipper. Goodbye, Pelipper. And I think I want to always go for Icy Wind. Rain stops, no big deal. Although it does mean I can hit 100% accurate Bleak Winds. I think it's okay. So Conkeldurr going to be fired in. We know that they don't have the Terra option. I have low kick, which that doesn't do that much damage to the Archaludon, but I think it should still be a pretty acceptable spot. I'm just going to go for Icy Wind, and I'm just going to go for Protect with my Palkia. Because if I lose Torn this turn, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. They go for Sucker, which makes sense. So Torn is going down, which I am, again, I was really okay with in the beginning. And then we're going to see Electro Shot, which, are they Power Up? If they're Power Up, that means they might have Protect, which actually makes this weird. Yeah, it's Power Up. It's not Assault Vest. Okay, that changes dynamic quite a bit. We go out into Conkeldurr. We do have Terra Fighting Mach Punch. Which does threaten a very heavy hit here. The question is, do I really want to go for it? Because we're using the Sword of Ruin from the Chien Pao. I just don't think... Low kick does not do much to Archaludon, if I'm not mistaken. So I do want to go for the Mach Punch. What am I doing with you? I think it's the question of who do I target down? Because if I target down wrong, I could lose a Mon, which is not great. I want to say it's double up to Archaludon, but it depends on do I think Chien Pao's protecting or not. I think I'm going to target down to Chien Pao. Let's see. If they protect... this, again, it's just a mind game because Archaludon can pretty much always get a knockout onto both. And I feel like Chien Pao, even if it doesn't get a KO this turn, it puts me in the Sucker Punch range with the others. So it's kind of still weird. Terra Fighting. Okay, Chien Pao protected, so I got this mind game wrong. Do I get the Mach Punch KO? Because this is kind of huge. It might be, actually it could be Sturdy Power, but I should have thought about that. That wasn't Drain Punch. That wasn't any of those moves. It was just Mach Punch with the Sword of Ruin, with the Iron Fist, the Black Belt. Okay, I did not expect a KO. We never saw if it was stamina sturdy or not, but yeah, we guarantee to win now. Well, in most cases, no, we do because Mach Punch always goes. Sucker Punch literally can't KO Conkeldurr, yeah. Had to make it somewhat. I'm actually just shocked that the Mach Punch actually did KO the Archaludon, because when you think about it, Archaludon has a really good physical defense, but Sword of Ruin Mach Punch with Terra Fighting, I guess we'll just be better than it. This is something Snorlax, Incineroar, Hisuian Gudra, Dusclops, Landorus Variant, and Miraidon. What the heck am I looking at right here? All right. So unironically, Iron Chest is pretty good. Torn, I would say, is not that great because this isn't a Tailwind team. Conkeldurr is actually pretty nice with low kick damage. It is pretty significant to the team. I wish it did a bit more damage to Incineroar, but still pretty acceptable. I kind of like the idea of Palkia plus Gouging Fire lead, which I'm okay with. If I'm going to lead Palkia Gouging Fire with Conkeldurr and Iron Treads in the back. Iron Treads to help out against the Miraidon. The Conkeldurr is good against Snorlax. Depending on their Terra. I would really like to force a Terra early against them, but I have no clue what they exactly have. Like what their Terra is on Miraidon. Electric is very common, I think, in the Western metagame, but in the Eastern metagame, they like a lot of Terra Fairy, so we'll see. I do like the idea of just getting some really heavy threats though, because Palkia, if they don't leave Miraidon, I'm in a huge advantage position. Landorus Dusclops is actually pretty nice to deal with. Okay. As I lead Gouging Fire plus the Palkia. Now, Dusclops is a huge threat. Dusclops is a huge threat. If I'm my Lustrous Globe, got my Booster Energy, which is just going to activate and give me my speed, so that doesn't really matter. How bulky do I think Clops is? Because I think it's probably especially defensive. I don't think I'm ever going to tear these guys. So I think my best play is to go for my Stellar Terror, lock it in against the Clops, and set up a Dragon Cheer immediately. So that is what I'm gonna do, because Clops is really annoying for my Conkeldurr. It's actually just annoying for my entire team. So I'm gonna see if this Stellar Terra critical hit can knock out the Dusclops with the Lustrous Globe boosting. We're gonna see the Landers retreat, so all right. What is coming in? Assuming Goodra, all right. Which is not like super shocking. All right, can we pick up a knockout? If we could pick up a knockout, amazing. If not, it's playable, but still really awkward. So bring out that Stellar Terra. Dragon Cheer. Do I get the +2 or do I get +1? Because I don't remember how Stellar interactions work, because it's technically still a Dragon type. Come on, Spatial Rend. Should be guaranteed to get a critical hit. Let's see if we KO the Clops. Clops is just so bulky, man. So bulky. Trick Room goes up. All right. Are you offensive, Goodra, though? I guess that's a good question, too. If it is an offensive Goodra, I feel pretty good about the spot. I think I'm okay with just going for a Spatial Rend into the Clops. And I think I'm actually going to go for... I guess I could have roared the Clops, too. I could have. But I wasn't too sure. I wanted to see the Dragon Cheer. I'm gonna roar to Goodra, though. I don't know if this is Iron Defense Body Press. I don't know if this is offensive or not. Goodra protects. That's perfectly acceptable. Pain Split? It does have Pain Split. All right. I don't know if I get the KO with the crits anymore. Let's see. Just barely missing these knockouts. Okay. We roar out the Goodra. I was really hoping that I got the knockout even if they Pain Splitted, but it didn't work out there. Let's see who we're forced to bring in. Miraidon would be nice. Nice. Okay. Because unless this is Echo Slow Miraidon, there should be a free Spatial Rend into that slot. I'm okay with that because they don't exactly have good switches. So I'm like, we're kind of wasting their turns at Trick Room because they haven't accomplished anything. So I would like to Spatial Rend. If this is slow Miraidon, I'll be super sad. But let's Flare Blitz the Dusclops and Spatial Rend to Miraidon. If this is Terra Fairy, I'll be sad because I could have just Hydro Pumped. Okay, they stayed in attack. They went for the Pain Split into the Gouging Fire, which makes sense. Okay, nice. We are able to get a big Spatial Rend off into Miraidon. Able to get the KO. That's a huge, huge knockout. A guaranteed critical hit once again into that Miraidon. So goodbye, Miraidon. It's a good start. Flare Blitz going to come out, get some chip damage into the Dusclops. Should put in range of another Spatial Rend in the later parts of the game. Okay, we're going to see the Landers. How many turns do I have left? Turns of Trick Room. Probably this Landers is also a bit threatening. I think I want to protect my Palkia, and I think I want to go out into my Conkeldurr in case Goodra decides to start coming in. I kind of just want to gauge like how comfortable they are with attacking with Landers now. And I could also make them fear Ice Punch and make them go for a Terror with Landers. Oh, Gravity. Huh. This is an Earthquake. That'd be amazing. Oh, Sandsear Storm on the Landorus. I can't lie, that did very pitiful damage. That was really pitiful damage. At least my Hydro Pumps are accurate now, so thank you to that. I think I will go for the Hydro Pump in the Landers because I can Spatial Rend the last turn or in the next turn. I think I'm just going to go for a Wide Guard then. Because low kick doesn't get me anything in this spot. I guess if they read that and go for like an earth power. Are they Scarflanders? Pain split, but they're not going to heal that much. Yeah. Nice. Nice. I don't even think that was King of Palkia though. Like that damage to Conkeldurr was pretty pathetic. And I mean pretty pathetic. We get a Hydro Pump. Thank you for your gravity, by the way. This just guaranteed that I'm KOing the Landorus. Goodbye, Landorus. And now we can go for Spatial Rend. Nice critical hits on the Palkia, but I don't think it was necessary. We can now go for Spatial Rend in the... So what is it? Gravity, Pain Split, Trick Room. We don't know what the last move is. Here comes the Goodra. I mean, I'm always just clicking Spatial Rend into the Dusclops, and I'm clicking low kick into the Goodra because it forces a Terra. They didn't Terra, which is surprising. So goodbye Dusclops with that nice critical hit Spatial Rend, a really great wall breaker. So Dusclops does go down. It's been a couple of turns of me trying to get rid of it aggressively, but finally we get rid of it. Shelter. All right. I wonder what their Terra is that they didn't Terra out of it. Wow, that did a good amount. That did a good amount. So it was Shelter, which I'm not too surprised about. So good against Calyx Ice Rider. The Electric Train disappears. I feel like Fairy should be the Terra. I'm just going to go for Hydro Pump, and I'm going to go for a low kick. That was going to be forfeited because they took too much HP, so they were probably just going down. They didn't have a type that resisted Hydro Pump, and I also had Iron Treads in the back that still put in a decent amount of pressure, so... Okay. I was not expecting... I mean, the tricks in that game, I was not expecting anything. I mean, that's the problem of like Landorus T running the special variant. Like, no sheer force boost. It did have a chance to burn my Conkeldurr though on the Switch, which would not have been great, but yeah, special land just kind of is overwhelming or underwhelming. Amoonguss, Farigiraf, Mienshao, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, Raging Bolt, and Calyx Ice Rider. So we have quite a bit that could happen. I like Conkeldurr a lot. Iron Treads is kind of okay. I don't think it's really necessary. Gouging Fire with the Roar is pretty solid here. I'm actually thinking I'm debating about letting Mienshao plus the Gouging Fire because they don't have really good fire type answers. Palkia's like okay as a lead. I don't think it's necessary though. I kind of like the combination. I really do because I think Lava Plume is pretty threatening to their team. Especially if they lead someone like Amoonguss plus the Calyx Ice Rider. So yeah, let's try it out. And then Palkia plus the Wide Guard, Conkeldurr to help out with Glacial Lances, Hyper Voices. Palkia just, you know, the restricted good damage. Iron Treads, not really as necessary. It would take a lot. I mean, it does help out. It's actually not terrible into the team, right? It's good against Farigiraf. It's good against the Blood Moon, sorta. At least it can take a Hyper Voice. Somewhat okay-ish. And then there was the Raging Bolt, which can take a decent amount and fire a good amount back, but I don't think it was worth it. Farigiraf plus the Amoonguss. All right, perfect. So I laid the Chiyu plus the Gouging Fire. I do have the Roar option if I want to. I also have the way to just obliterate the team. And I'm just curious about something. I could Dragon Chain my Chiyu and hope for the crit. That could be a factor. I think just Flare Blitz is okay in the Farigiraf and go for the Heat Wave. This might force Amoonguss to go for a Terra Water and Rage Powder. I think they kind of have to. And if they do, that's kind of okay for me because that means they don't have a defensive Terra play that they could go for with Cali, which is nice. So let's see what they do. If I had Terra Grass, I would have debated about Rage going for the Roar, but yeah, no Rage Powder actually, which is surprising. Does Farigiraf go down here? This is a Flare Blitz. We do get a burn on the Farigiraf, which actually might hurt me because if I get the KO, here, then it doesn't matter. But the problem is now they get a free switch to Farig. Or they get a free... Okay, no, they have such a play. I meant a free switch to Cali Ice. Because if Farigiraf went down, they got Cali Ice with a Spore threat. Not great. So I could have roared the Farigiraf, but I don't really feel like it got me that much there. You have to waste turns with the Trick Room, and I can burn sleep turns this turn, at least. Like, I'm guaranteed to burn at least one. And I did force their Terra already immediately, which is nice. The problem is the Cali Ice is still going to be a threat, but I don't have like safety goggles to prevent because Amoonguss is just a threat. But we will go for a Flare Blitz, I suppose, and the Heat Wave. We're going to retreat into probably, I mean, Blood Moon, I would think makes sense here. Yeah, that looks like Blood Moon. All right. Spore. All right, Hyper Voice is super threatening. Didn't exactly have a safe switch, and I did want to burn the turns of sleep. Do I have anything for this? I mean, I always snarl here, and I guess I just fire off a Heat Wave for damage. I don't have a switch to Hyper Voice. Like, I'm pretty sure Conkeldurr, because they can go for a Spore plus a Hyper Voice. They could switch out the Amoonguss into Cali and Hyper Voice, which just looks like what they're going to do, which makes sense. It is probably like one of their best options. Yeah. This is Terra Normal Hyper Voice. Oh wait, they can't Terra Normal actually. They can only Earth Power or just Hyper Voice. Okay. They go for the knock on the Chi, which makes sense. I'll take it. Stay asleep, a little bit unfortunate. I could have got a Snarl off into the Blood Moon or Saluna. That could have helped. The problem is I think Conkeldurr's slow. I think Conkeldurr should underspeed here and get a low kick off, which is at least nice. So I'm gonna go for a Flare Blitz into Cali, and I'm gonna go for a low kick. The question is there an Amoonguss swap for either of these? I think I'm just gonna low kick the Blood Moon. I think they should go Amoonguss and just click Glacial Lance, but we'll see. Maybe I should have played aggressive and just low kicked the Cali and Flare Blitzed it. But then again, Amoonguss gets next to Blood Moon or Saluna, and then I don't think I exactly like that either. Like, that position's still not great. And if they go for 2 attacks, then I just lose. So they actually stay in. They give me the low kick. Goodbye, Blood Moon or Saluna. That's a huge knockout. We are going to see a Glacial Lance in response, but I am definitely happy with that. Especially if I wake up. That is a very nice wake up. We are able to get a Flare Blitz off into the Cali Ice. Huge damage. Beautiful. All right. And then Amoonguss is going to come in. And it's back to full health, which that isn't great. Are they going to Spore? I mean, if they Spore... They do have Protect. I just don't know if they Glacial Lance or not. Like, if they Rage Powder... and this is okay. If they Rage Powder, I feel like Rage Powder should be your best play in high horsepower. I really want a Wide Guard here. I just don't know if they Spore. And what does the Cali click? You know what? I'll risk it. I'm gonna go for Wide Guard here and try to get rid of Cali, because if I get rid of Cali, I think I do win the game, or it's a high shot. I do. They go for the Spore into the Conkeldurr. The question is, what did the Cali go for? Did they go for Glacial Lance or did they go for high horsepower? They went for Glacial Lance. They didn't know if I had Burning Bulwark. Beautiful. Okay. It's not over by far. It's not over by far, but this is still definitely better. We are able to get rid of the Cali, so we have a game. The question is, Farigiraf. I think if I KO Farigiraf, I guarantee win the game. But I don't know if the Farigiraf has Protect. And we don't have to worry about a Terra at least, which is good. I don't think Stellar Terra Lustrous Glow picks up the knockout into Amoonguss. Farigiraf is low. So I can go for a Spatial Rend into the Farigiraf, assuming that there's no Protect, but I just don't think there will be. I guess I could low kick the Amoonguss. This is probably Rage Powder Trick Room. Oh, no Rage Powder. All right, we'll take the win. I thought their only hope was it being like Rage Powder, Trick Room, then they can Pollen Puff after. I don't know if the Farigiraf even had any offensive pressure. It might have been foul play, like support, like helping hand, but otherwise not too much. Amoonguss is by its lone self, but I think we take the win. Unless some really ridiculous RNG happens. I'm going to go for Mach Punch into... I don't know how much low kick does, so I'm just gonna go for Mach Punch. Actually, low kick I don't know how heavy Amoonguss is. We do wake up, we get the Mach Punch off. Are you Rocky Helmet or are you Citrus? Yeah, Rocky Helmet, which makes it easier for my Palkia later in the game. You have Grass Knot on the Amoonguss? No, it's just Pollen Puff. Yeah, all right. Pretty sure we seal this game with Palkia and Conkeldurr. Nice. It's gonna be forfeit because they do realize that. I mean, if I missed every attack because I don't actually have an accurate move, maybe they have a chance. Like, the game was winnable, but I guess like Amoonguss, Terra Water Amoonguss, I did get it right, but the thing is, I didn't have the best tools for Amoonguss under Trick Room. Like, I really did not. Like, it was just able to spore everything, and I'm like, okay, I kind of had to gamble a little bit against the Cali Ice turn. I think the best play that I made was the Wide Guard, like expecting the Glacial Lance, and I was able to get the Flare Blitz because I was like, I don't know if you're gonna risk high horsepower because I always do. Like, a normal Gouging Fire does have the option to go for the Burning Bulwark, and if I do get that right, you're in a really tough spot. Like if I protect Burning Bulwark right there with Conkeldurr and the Gouging Fire, if I theoretically had it, could have been an option to stall out turn Trick Room. So luckily it did work out. All right, let's go over the games. In game one, I did not notice it was regular Zacian and not Crown Zacian, but removing the threats so Conkeldurr was able to clean the endgame was great, even though the Mach Punch Oko on the Archaludon even caught me off guard. In game two, was able to start with some aggressive plays to knock out the Dusclops, but in the middle of Trick Room, they gave me an option to one-shot the Miraidon, which ended up severely limiting their damage output after they lost it. In game 3, Terra Water Amoonguss was really tricky to deal with, but I got two calls right with the Ursaluna staying in to knock it out with the low kick, and then the Wide Guard on the Glacial Lance allowing me to eliminate the Calyrex, which put me in a great spot to win. Some really fun partners. I actually think the Palkia form might be better in dual restricted. I actually think that speed paired next to, for instance, like a Kyogre could actually be super threatening. I actually really do like Conkeldurr. It's actually something that I really liked using back in like the old VGC formats of like 2013 and even 2020 in the first few regulations there. It was really fun, and low kick does a lot in that Mach Punch. Call it One Punch Man because that was a one-hit knockout. The Iron Treads was pretty cool on this team. The telepathy on the Palkia was cool because of the Lava Plume, even though we didn't get to click it. And the Earthquake next to Iron Treads really was nice. If you would like to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.